Hey there, guys. It's me, Redrick, here, the mom strategist, coming on with a really simple tip tonight. I actually read this in two emails that I got this week. From one was a prospect and one was from a client. And it was about how do I find my people? How do I find my audience using social media, using lives like Facebook or Periscope or Instagram Live, or maybe it's posting in any of those areas. How do you find the people, your people, that want to work with you? What do you do, right? And I know that a lot of you guys are already out there pushing that go live button, and your goal is to get directly in front of the people who are investors, people who want to invest in your products and your services. Hey there, Valerie. I'm going to keep this really quick. I'm going to pop on and just simply talk right now about how do you find your people via social media. Now, the reason I wanted to come on was just because I had gotten two emails, one email from a client and one also from a prospect, both interested in knowing, how do I find my people? You know, how do I find, if I go and do these lives, this social media, how do I get that to work for me so that I can attract the right audience? And it's something I'm really great at. All of my clients, pretty much, about 99% of my clients come from social media. That's where they've come from. They come from social media. So I definitely know exactly what works, and I'm going to share that with you, and I'm going to keep it really simple, because I think sometimes we think it's more difficult than it is, and it's just really not that difficult. Here's the first thing I want you to keep in mind if you are consistently doing lives to get in front of your audience, okay, is be authentic, okay? Be who you really are. And I know this goes without saying, and I know sometimes we think that we really are being who we are, but I want you to think about what's your preparation time, okay? Hear me on this. Hey, Sandra Jean, what's your preparation time before you go live? Do you have to do a whole lot of things? Do you have to move a whole lot of things? Do you have to prepare a whole lot of things in order for you to go live? And if you do, then likely you aren't being as, hey there, darling, as authentic as you need to be. Hear me on this, okay? One of the things that I realized for myself is when I hit the go live button, I go live in any moment. You know, I want the house quiet in general. Matthew's doing the dishes right now. I want the house to be quiet overall, but I'm living my life, right? So I am going to hit that button when I have something to say that can be of value. The environment may or may not be perfect, because that isn't real, and it's not attractive, and because most of us don't live that way, right? And if you're hitting a live button, people will connect with you based on your reality. The other thing is this idea that your space has to be exactly perfect. It doesn't have to be. Now, you don't want it to be distracting either, don't get me wrong. And I know that there are those of you out here that are saying, you know, me, I work with, you know, sharp, smart, professional people, and I want to show them a certain whatever in order lifestyle or image in order for them to be attracted to work with me, right? I want you to understand this. And if you've been following me, one thing you know for sure, I wear t-shirts almost probably 80% of my lives. I wear t-shirts because when I'm working at home, that's what I have on. I have on a t-shirt, and then when I go live, I'm just being myself. And I work with professional people. That is not a deterrent in me attracting my demographic. People are going to be attracted to you. Is this helping you guys? They're going to be attracted to you because you're authentic and because your message, what you're talking about, is something that really resonates with them. So it's not because you've got the perfect backdrop. It's not because you've got the perfect chair. That's all illusion. It's not real, actually. It's not because you've got the right talking points or a specific PowerPoint. It's not none of those things. I don't really use any of those things when I go live. Okay, you guys know how many PowerPoints you've seen from me. You saw one at the retreat, and maybe you've seen one other. For those of you that have worked with me over the years, I'm just not really big into that. You don't need that. You are enough, and you got to know that you are enough, okay? And the only reason that people need props, they need the right environment, they need the perfect outfit, is because of a level of not feeling that you are enough. And I want you to know that you are enough. You're enough with your t-shirts. You know, you're enough. You're enough. You're enough. Okay, and you gotta understand that people are gonna relate to you based on the message that you're communicating. And if they can tell that you know what you're talking about, if what you're delivering delivers an amazing value or transformation to them, then they're going to resonate with you, whether they're professional people or whatever, okay? I think one of the things that's also really important if you are doing your lives is making sure that you attract the right audience, right? And that you repel the wrong audience, okay? So that's really important. That's called being polarizing in what you're saying, right? So you want to attract the right people, and you want to attract the right people to work with you. In my case, smart, sharp people that believe in self-investment, that believe in God, they're action takers, they're go-getters, they're go-givers. And if you guys notice, I talk about go-giving all the time because one of the things that I realized when I built my company years ago is that what I loved is that I was a part of an incredible accountability group. There were 7 of us. It was called the Sister Circle, and we were go-givers. And we really sewed into one another. You can't really build an amazing community with great people if you have people that don't sew back into one another or feel like, I'm going to tell you this, but not all of this because whatever, right? You can't really do that. I had 7 of the most amazing accountability partners in the whole world. And what we did for each and every one of us, we pulled for one another, we gave our best selves to one another, and there's no surprise that we all ended up doing great and amazing things. Whenever you are in an environment that has contraction or limitation, I can tell you this, I can't tell you this, I can do this, I can't do that. That's all a mindset. And one of the things that I wanted in my own community is to attract a bigger mindset. So I'm polarizing about it. Whenever I come on live, I talk about how I only work with go-givers. Why? Because that's the kind of community that I know giants are a part of. I've been a part of many communities like that. You can't grow a big community with people that don't share. You can't grow a great community with people that don't pass the ball back. You'll never grow a great community with people that don't refer people. You will never grow a great community with people that don't write testimonials or things like that. I mean, I'm just being practical. But if you think about it in your own company, you've got to have some general values, hey there, darling, that you hold dear. And if you are looking to grow your company, you want to make sure that you share those values with the people in your company because that is what allows you to grow your company. Hey there, darling. What I'm talking about today is when you go live, right? What is it that, what can allow you to get directly in front of your audience? I'm really great at it. Hey, Bobby, 99% of my clients come from Facebook and from Periscope and from webinars. So that's where most of my clients come from. Very few of my clients are people that I've known before, okay? And a lot of my clients are people who never knew me at all, and they make a decision in a short period of time to say yes to work with me. Now, what I'm saying to you guys today is, you don't have to get this thing just perfect. You can do lives. Thank you so much. You can do lives, and you can have on your t-shirts, right? Like today, my daughter and I went out for some girl time, so I'm dressed a little bit. But typically, you guys know I wear my t-shirts here because that's what I'm wearing, okay, for the day. And I'm not going to just dress up for a live so that I can pretend that there's something that isn't. Now, sometimes I will put on a little lipstick, right, and maybe a little blush just because it looks better for repurposing the videos, but I don't do anything that's like really major or outside of myself. And there are times that I'll come on even and I won't do any of that at all. What people relate to is authenticity when you're doing these lives. That's what's going to allow those people that want to work with you to say, oh, okay, I never even thought that I could teach on this subject and be myself. All right, people are going to relate to you. And I want you to think about the perfectionists that you've ever met in your world, right? It's exhausting, right? Like, it's hard trying to be perfect, right? Trying to get the perfect backdrop, trying to get the perfect topics, trying to figure out the perfect outfit. It means that you're probably not going to go live as frequently. So that's why I'm saying, you don't need to have the perfect backdrop, or you don't need to get into all of that. Find yourself like, this is a blank wall, a clean wall. Just get, the clear wall. There's not a whole lot to distract you. I just sit here, I hit the go live button, and it's pretty simple. I try to set it up so that whatever I'm doing, I can consistently do over and over and over again. Okay? I am using a light because my kids gave me you guys want to see it? They gave me this light for Christmas. This is so funny. Can you see this? All right, they gave me this light. So I used that. That was my Christmas gift for my kids. So you might be a marketer when your kids give you you know what I mean, a halo light. But that's what I use. That's the extent of it, and that's it. Okay, and I use my phone. So look for ways that you can go on and be consistent, and don't worry about that perfectionist thing, because it'll prevent you from going on and on. You just won't go live, because you can never just get it all right. If I was waiting to get it all just right, I would have to wait for Matthew to finish doing the dishes, because things would have to be quiet in order for me to do that. It just doesn't work like that. So, and then the other thing is making sure that you're always able to be yourself. And you know what? I find if I'm being myself, yeah, you like it? I love it too, right? I find that if I'm being myself, then people connect more on my lives, right? In that way. And then the third thing is always just talk about, and only talk about what you know about. Talk about what you know about, all right? Hey, Ivy, good to see you. So don't feel the pressure to sound smart or to talk about what anybody else is talking about. Talk about what you know about. And what you're going to find is that there's an audience out there that has an ear for what you know. And those people are going to say, I really like the way you ... right? Hey there, darling. And so because of that, they're going to be interested in learning more from you. When I tell you the number of people who get on the phone for prospective calls, and they start talking to me about a video that they saw or a live that I did, and because it really connected to them, because I'm being on myself. And remember, the fourth thing is being, which I just mentioned, is being polarizing. You got to be polarizing. The thing is, when you're too neutral with a message, nobody knows who you're for, nobody knows what you stand for, nobody knows what you're talking about, okay? So I did this, actually. I did this all wrong when I first got started. Mom strategist, I was Miss Neutral Mom strategist. I didn't want to step on anyone's toes in what I was saying. So I stayed right there in the middle. Although, if you were a friend of mine, and if you were in intimate company with me, you knew I had definite opinions and an approach about how I handle things, right? But I wasn't communicating that message on my lives. I was very neutral. I was very safe. And as a result of that, I was not attracting my audience. I was not magnetic. I was boring. Okay. And so whereas today, I'll talk about what I know about. I'll talk about what I've experienced. I'll talk about what I take a stand for. I'll talk about things like, the type of people I want to work with. I'll talk about the kind of people I don't want to work with. I'll talk about, why your relationship is failing. I'll talk about how you're using your kids as an excuse. I'll talk about things that I have strong opinions about, and I'll say, this is my opinion. Like, it's my opinion. Okay. You can take it or leave it. But people know my stance. And I find that being polarized in that way, people who are in alignment with the things that I believe, they typically will say, I like her. And the people that are like, you know what? Not for me, right? Then they will move on. And you want that in your marketing. You want to make sure that you sift and sort. Okay, yes, and that takes courage. And it doesn't take any courage. Thanks for putting it that way, Ivy. It doesn't take courage to be vanilla, right? It doesn't take courage to sound like everyone else. It doesn't take courage to be neutral. It doesn't take courage to be perfect. It doesn't take courage, you know what I mean, to try to appease everyone. You have to say what your position is. And when you do, the people that you're meant to help say, that's my position too. I'm looking for someone like that. And so that's one of the ways that I like to do it for live. Also, when I do my lives, I will ask my audience. You guys always see me do this. I'll ask them to do some things, right? Like maybe sign up for my newsletter list at miaredrick.com. I'll ask them to share, right? I always ask them to share. You know why? Because I like to work with go-givers, right? So thing is, in my business, I want to work with people who believe in giving, not talk about giving, people who give. And it's you can see that they give. You can see it, right? Because you can see it, that they give, right? And that's really important to me because I know for a fact the value of what that looks like in my own world. And I was a part of an incredible mastermind that transformed my entire business. There were 7 of us. Hey, Kendra. There were 7 of us in that mastermind, and every single one of us went on to do great and amazing things because we weren't counting what we were giving to one another. We really wanted everybody else to win. And what we understood was that if other people around us that were our accountability partners were winning, then we had more people to play with. We had more people to joint venture with. We had more. And sometimes you'll find that if you're in communities, you've ever been a part of a community that's not go-giving, then some people just want to be at the top and have everything for themselves, and everybody else, they don't have access to what they have. You know what I mean? So it's really important to have a culture in a community, particularly in a coaching community, where you have go-givers, people who are win-win-win, because there's more than enough. And when you think that there isn't more than enough, that's all mindset. Like literally, it really is, because there are lots of customers to work with. There are lots of opportunities, right? And that doesn't really mean also that you're spilling all your tea, right? Doesn't mean that you're naming the brands and who you're working with specifically, but it does mean that conceptually you understand that sharing concepts with other people helps everybody else grow, right? That's what we did. We just had a great coaching call last week, and it was so great because people on there just sharing what they're doing without hesitation. We all grow. It allows us to have an elevated conversation. So, all right, so that's really important. You know, that's very important to me. And you need to think about what's important to you in your community, right? What's the culture that you want to have within your community as well. And last thing I'm going to say, when you're doing your lives, you got to remember that the people that you're talking to that might be interested in what you're offering, they have different backgrounds, right? Like they've got different problems. They've got different reasons that they might want to work with you. So when you are talking to them, you need to talk to the different problems, right? So sometimes we just talk to one group. And if I just talk to women, let's say I said, you know, I'm just going to talk to women who want to increase their speaking fee from $1,000 to $5,000 or $10,000, okay? And if I just got on a live and that's all I talked about, then what about the people that want to write books? What about the people that want to build packages and sell them? What about the people who want to be consultants? What about the people who want to grow a profitable, time-rich coaching business? Because they're in that audience too, and many of them do speak, but they want more than that. So you need to make sure that your message is addressing the problems that are in the room. And if you're not doing that, that means that I could have listened to you for half an hour, or if you're listening to me, 45 minutes, right, to an hour, if you're listening to my lives, that tend to be long, and you're like, that was good, but I didn't speak to your problems. And so that's something I'm really mindful of. Whenever I come on my lives, I always know what the problems of my audience is that relate to that. So like tonight, when I am here talking about this topic, I know that people are struggling with getting an audience, right? Getting buyers in front of them, people that can say yes from using their social media. So I'm talking about that. I know that people are, hey there, darling. I know that people equally struggle with working with people who are go-givers. Like it's a thing, because people are very myopic, and building a community requires you to have people who like to give and so on to one another. It's a different way of looking at the world, okay? Hey there, right? Problems or interests. That's right, Bobby. I love it, right? Right on time, just in from the gym. Woohoo! I'll be there in the morning. I love it. So what I'm talking about, Jasmine, is, and you're amazing at this, by the way, how do you do lives, and how is it that you leverage social media so that you get in front of buyers? And I was saying to everyone that, you know, for the last, I want to say 7 or 8 years, all of my clients, well, really since the beginning of time, but all of my clients come from social media. So if I have any of my clients in a room and say, how did you meet me? They're going to all tell you, from a webinar, from a live, from Facebook. And I attract premium clients, right? People who buy high ticket things. And how do I get that audience in front of me from doing a live. That's what I'm talking about today. And I'm saying first and foremost, you got to be authentic. This idea of making things just perfect, really, people aren't interested in that. No one wants perfection. People want reality. They want what is real. They want to get to know you. They want to be able to feel you. They want to know that you're like them. And I find that most of my clients, there's a part of me in them, and vice versa. So be yourself. And I mentioned how whenever you do your lives, just choose a location and do it in a way that you can consistently commit, and don't make having to dress up or look a certain way or having a certain background, get in the way. Sometimes people think I need to have the right spot or I need to have the right environment, and they never are consistent going live because perfection's not real. Like, it's hard to be perfect, and run your family and go live, right? So I just have to do what I'm going to do when I'm going to do it. And that's that. All right. And then the third thing is, just talk about what you know about. You guys know I got these numbers all mixed up, right? But talk about what you know about. Just talk about what you know how to create a result in. Don't worry about what anybody else is talking about. Only talk about the things that you know are transformative and in your knowledge base. And you'll find that the people who relate to you will find you. Number 4 is, don't be afraid to be polarizing. You're going to say some things, okay, that sometimes will shake the shoulders of your audience. And what that will do is it'll call out those people that say, I want to rise to that. And it'll prune those people that don't want to go there. Okay, you understand that? They don't want to go there. And there's no judgment about it. It's just that you're looking to work with a certain demographic. And so when you do your lives, you want to sort and sift your audience. And the way that I do it is by being polarizing. Sometimes I can be a little hardcore. Why? Because I want that audience that's for me to say, man, I felt like you were in my house talking to me, right? So what some people say to me sometimes when they're listening to live. And then I guess the last thing, I can't remember, I'm trying to remember. The last thing was, like always, just have fun. Have fun, enjoy it. People will know if you're having fun. Don't worry if the scopes are long or short, or don't worry about any of that. Just go on and say what you have to say. And when you're done, you're done. That's it. Okay, so I hope this has supported you guys in some way. I wanted to pop on. I got 2 questions this week, one from a client, one from a prospect, about how to get in front of your ideal clients doing lives. And that's literally what I do. I don't have a schedule currently of when I come on. I just come on when I can. But, having a schedule isn't a bad idea. It's a great idea if you can commit to it, right? But I don't know when I'm going to come on because I got a lot going on. And sometimes I know and sometimes I don't know. So I just go live. And here's the thing. I love lives because they just play over and over and over again. I just think of them like a commercial. When else could you just have a commercial for your business? So don't worry that you went live and 2 people were there with you. Doesn't matter. Be grateful for those 2 people that showed up for your message. Know that other people are going to be able to watch that message over and over and over again. Know that you're going to be able to take that live and repurpose it and use it over and over and over again. That's how I look at it. And so I never really worry if, how many people are on the live and should I go or not. Nope. I don't determine my value from things that are external. I come on to serve, right? Right, thank you. I come on to serve from my overflow, and if there was one person here that I supported, then I did the right thing, But if I came on and I'm like, I'm coming on for me, then I'm coming on because I need an audience. If I don't have an audience, then I don't want to put my heart into it. Come on, not so much. I'm going to bring my A game. One person, no people, whatever it is. Because that you're going to repurpose these over and over again. Thanks, Ivy. This was great. Thanks. Be polarizing. Absolutely. Well, never thought of it like it's a commercial. Great insight. Absolutely. You're welcome, Valerie. I appreciate you as well. Do you guys have any quick questions about lives? Any quick questions? Just wanted to come on, do something informal, and just give you my perspective on it. I love lives. I watched doing lives, doing webinars, using social media to get in front of my audience, and it's all free. It's like, how could you not win? How could you not win? This is such a great tool. How can you not make this work? What part of this format, these formats, these tools that we have available to us, how could we not make these things work? And the funny thing is that people complain about them all the time. And I remember when there was no Facebook, because I used to do Google AdWords, and this is so much easier. This is so much easier. So just, have fun with it. Get in front of your audience. Take full advantage of the tool that you have. Practice gratitude for the fact that you can get in front of an audience and be shared with a completely different audience. How amazing is that in and of itself, okay? So if there are not any questions, then I'm going to pop off. But I want to thank you for joining me tonight. Bobby's right. So you do lives. What platforms give you the most value? That's a great question. So I started doing lives on Periscope. That's primarily, I have like over 3,000 lives on Periscope. Can you believe it? And so that's where I started doing lives, and lots of people came. But initially when I went there, I had no followers. Now, what you guys also need to know about me, which you may know this, Bobby, but what you need to know about me is that I'm a producer. I'm not a consumer. So on Periscope, I only have 2 people I follow, and it's like Periscope. Okay, so I'm not saying to do this or not to do this. I'm just saying based on my personality, I don't consume a lot of content. I produce content. That's how I look at it, right? So Periscope was the first platform that I've ever used. Worked really great for me. I did not have an audience over there at all. I built an audience by being consistent and letting people on Facebook know that I was going to be on Periscope. So Bobby, you'll notice that whenever I would do Periscope, I would post a postcard and I would give people my handle, Mia @Mia_Redrick. Meet me over here on Periscope. So if you are using Periscope, or Instagram Live, just tell people where you're going to be. Tell them your handle and tell them when you're going to be there so they can meet you over there. And that's how you start to grow your audience. So since I got hacked, I since moved to Mia Redrick, the Mom Strategist page. And that's my public page. And that's where I've been doing most of my lives recently. And, I hadn't done lives there forever, but it's been pretty popular. People really like them. And I say go where the audience is. So this idea that there's one platform, like, should I be at Instagram? Should I be at Periscope? You should be wherever the people are showing up. If I show up and I do a live and I get, tons of comments or whatever, and that's where I'm going to go. I'm going to go where the people are. Okay. Talk about taking full posts and chopping it up into smaller pieces of content, both video and audio podcasts. So that's a great thing to do. So, I'll take a video, for example, and a video could be an article. It could be a blog or a vlog. It could be an e-course. You could write a book that way. You could do so many things doing a live and breaking it into so many small pieces of content. You could even do it as a teaser. You could take it. You could use it in your lead funnel process. Do 3 really awesome videos that people love. And then, use that as giveaway content so people can get to know you. So there are lots of different ways to take these lives and to repurpose the content so that you get directly in front of your audience and you give them more. And it's a tool that I use. A lot of the people who come through a couple of the funnels that I have, they get to watch a series of videos. And from that, they get to know me even better. I get to warm my market up even more. So hopefully that answered your question, Bobby. That was a great question, by the way. So thank you for asking that question. Are there any other questions, you guys? Any other questions on the floor? I'm happy to answer any other questions on the floor. But, the question is, in this year, not should you go live, go live. And I think that the reason, now this full transparency, I decided to go live on Periscope instead of Facebook was because, I felt like the people on Facebook, I was like, who's going to watch this, right? Like, there were people that I knew more intimately. So I was like, well, if I go over Periscope, I don't know those people. So just think about how you're feeling. Maybe you want to go on Periscope and practice your skills first before you come live on Facebook. It all works, you know. And so there's nothing wrong with any of that. Just do it. That's what I did. I started on Periscope first, did about 3,000 lives over there, built my live skills, and built my email list, and and sold a lot of coaching from people to cold traffic, people that didn't know me but who were getting to know me because they were watching my lives every single day, multiple times a day, and sharing them. So it's a really great way to get in front of your audience, and I hope you guys will try it. I love you guys. Have a great and amazing night. Talk to you soon.